Hey everyone, Tanner here. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that is extremely important if you want to protect yourself from viruses, diseases, or even cancers of any kind. So, what I want to talk about is toxins and their effect on the body, and the best way to protect yourself from these toxins. And if you do have toxins in your body, which I have to say almost every one of us does. I know I do. Um, and there's it's because there's so many things in our environment and in the products and foods and drinks that we use that come into our lives and into our body that really are not very good for our bodies, and almost all of our bodies are overloaded with these toxins, which actually leads to disease. And I'll tell you exactly how it works. So, toxins in the body. So, they'll come in through your mouth, through what you eat. Maybe they're coming through your skin based on what products you're putting on, or through the water that you are showering in, or from what you're drinking. And these toxins are actually go into your body, into your digestive system, and go down into your kidneys and your liver. And those are the top detoxers. Now, when your kidneys and liver are overloaded with these toxins, your body has no other choice but to put it back into your body. And so, to protect yourself from these toxins, you'll create fat molecules to store the toxins in. So that way, your body is not deeply harmed by these toxins. Now, if you are wondering why you maybe are having such a hard time losing weight, or if you start to lose some weight, you start to feel worse, it's because of the toxins that are inside of it. So when you detox really quick, if you have a lot of toxins in you, you may even get, you know, sick, or you may feel bad. So it's important to look at the detox methods and be very careful how quickly you detox if you have a high toxic load inside your body. Now, these toxins, um, they come from non-organic food. That could be pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. They can come from the chemical additives, food additives, colorings. We use so many artificial colorings and things like that, which actually is toxic for the body. Your body does not recognize it, and so it considers it a toxin. And there's a lot of studies been done that show that it's not good for your body. It's not good for your health in any way. And they use these things in to dye the color of your jalapenos, to dye your banana peppers so they're more yellow. These kinds of things that are kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Instead of using the yellow dye for the banana peppers, you can just use turmeric. There's actual ways to keep those colors without using these toxic dyes and artificial preservatives and food colorings and food additives. There's a food additives book that goes over all the food additives and you know what their negative effects are on you. And I recommend getting that book if you're interested in, you know, one of the things that I do and I've learned to start doing as well as my wife is that when we go to the grocery store, we actually look and read the ingredients before we buy something. And you'd be surprised to see and learn what kind of ingredients they're putting in those. Most of the time, you can't even read the ingredients; they're just a bunch of chemicals and things like that. So that's one of the first things I do, and it really cuts away from a lot of the products that you'll use. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And maybe back in the day, it would have been harder to find good products. Actually, more and more now, more people are waking up to that. The fact that so many of our products are full of toxins and chemicals, and there's getting a lot better products out there that you can use. Also, think about what kind of container those products are in. Are they plastic? Glass is the best, obviously. If you have plastic, think about if they're stored in the sun, if there's heat, or what kind of food is stored in there, like tomatoes. Those are very acidic things, and they can actually absorb the plastic, and you'll be consuming plastic, which is toxic for the body as well. Another thing to consider is what kind of meat you are buying. A lot of the commercially farmed meats are fed like plastic because it fattens them up for the same reason that we get fattened up when we have toxic stuff. There's dead animal carcasses that sometimes those animals are eating, sawdust, you know, stuff that I don't think anyone would really consider consumable. And think about if they're eating them and then you're consuming them, that's essentially what you are eating, is that toxic, just unhealthy meat and food. So you really got to consider what you're putting into your body. Those, good thing to do is look at getting grass-fed beef. You'll taste the difference, and I promise you it will be much healthier for you. Your body will be able to absorb it much easier. It is a bit more expensive, but think about what you're paying for. Would you rather pay less money for toxic food that will only make you more unhealthy and lead you towards disease, which you'll be spending more money down the line anyways, for medical doctors, prescription drugs, medical visits to the doctor's visits. So those things are also very important to consider. I always think there's a trade-off between spending money now and down the line. Are you thinking short term and just, oh, I need to save money right now, and not thinking long term of, if I don't spend this money on myself now, which is, the best investment you can make is into yourself. I personally believe that. If you invest into yourself, not only can you make more money, you can be healthier, you don't have as many diseases and viruses down the line. Next, let's go down to why these viruses and diseases are so active when you have so many toxins in your system. First of all, when your body is overloaded with toxins, it's so focused on getting rid of those toxins and dealing with those toxins that it doesn't really have as much energy as it needs to be able to support your immune system and have a great immune system going. So that is one aspect of it. Another aspect would be that toxins create a acidic environment in your body, so your pH levels actually become more acidic. And why this is important is that diseases, cancers, and viruses actually thrive in acidic environments. So there, have been lots of studies, and there's actually a lot of therapies that are done around making someone more alkaline, opposite of acidic on the pH scale, and their bodies are actually able to heal much easier from that point because the viruses and diseases and cancers can't thrive in that area. There's something called a Gerson therapy, which is used for getting, fighting cancer. It has to do with eating lots of green leafy vegetables and actually using coffee enemas. I'm not sure if you know what an enema is. I actually do enemas as well. Something I thought I'd never do because, of course, I'm not sure if you know what enema is, but it's essentially using a tube and to put liquids into your colon and through your intestines, because there's a lot of toxic particles that get stuck to the sides of your intestines, and actually that can lead to constipation and sickness. So it's extremely important to do, and I've noticed a huge difference in my life. My wife also does it, and we both would never go back to not doing it because it's so important for our health. I highly recommend you at least give it a thought. I know it's a big step to think about doing an enema, but at least think about eating healthier, or go to those steps, and maybe eventually you'll be ready to take the step of an enema. Now, what other points about the toxins and in your body, leading to more viruses and diseases? So let's say you are having coffee, which the caffeine in it is actually considered a toxin. Now, the reason why is your body doesn't necessarily like it, and if you know something about caffeine, is that in plants that caffeine is used as a defense system. So the any bugs and things that eat the plant or animals have that caffeine effect, and then they avoid it because it is like a defense system for it. And now we consume it daily. Now, many people think that coffee is not necessarily bad for you. Whether you think it is or not, it does activate your flight or flight systems. So it increases your cortisol levels and makes it so your blood goes to your arms and your legs. Now, the reason why it would do this is because your cortisol increase, and it considers it a toxin. So it is considering it, it's in fear of that I guess you could say chemical toxin, caffeine. So when your body's in flight or fight mode, it doesn't have the blood and the power it needs to actually contribute to its own immune system. So many of our immune systems, if you're drinking coffee all the time, every day, all day, and you don't ever give your body a break from that caffeine, it's not going to be able to focus on healing yourself, which is very important because our bodies are actually able to heal ourselves. It's actually, our bodies are so strong, they know, and they're innately able to heal ourselves, but not with the diets and the products that we are using today. They're so held back and bombarded with toxins that they're not able to do the job that they want to do. And many people falsely believe that we have to have medicine or some kind of vaccine to be able to overcome these things, when in all reality we just need to get rid of the toxic load on our bodies, and our bodies will do the work for us if we actually give our bodies the things it needs, the nutrients, and the freedom from toxins, and the exercise and the sleep and everything that it needs. Then you're able to heal yourself. And don't take my word for it. Many people have had that experience. Even just give it a try. Just try to stop having that caffeine and see how you feel after. Try to stop, eating unhealthily and eat it like that way for a month and see how much better you feel. Your body needs to be able to detox these things and needs at least a point where you're able to overcome it. Something that also or on top of diseases, cancers, and viruses, something else that can live inside your body is molds and fungus and parasites. And actually, that's something me and my wife have been doing. We've been doing a parasite cleanse. So we are actually using Renew Life. I think this brand is actually really good. I use a body talk method to talk to my body and ask how it's doing with this cleanse, and I've actually gotten rid of all of my parasites. And I've also found out that I've had parasites my whole life. I think many of us have parasites from the food and the drinks and everything else that we are consuming. And many of us have molds and funguses inside of our body too, which are actually, contribute to an unhealthy lifestyle and make it very hard for us to lose weight or to stop eating the junk food, because those parasites and those molds and funguses thrive off sugars and unhealthiness because it makes them stronger. The more toxins that are in your body, the more acidic your body is, and the more they thrive. So it's something very important to note, is that if you reduce the toxic load, if you're able to start eating healthier, things will clear up inside your body naturally, and you could always take steps to detox those even further. I've done something called a gallbladder cleanse, and that's much more extreme, where you're able to flush gallbladder stones out of your gallbladder, and you'd be surprised by what I got out of me. If you're interested in that, just Google it. I don't want to show any pictures because it's pretty gross. They're like little pea-sized things that come out of you. And those pea-sized things, those are toxins that are held, gallstones, that are created into little stones that can be protected inside your body. So something to think about is the toxic load in your body, what you're consuming, and all of that information. If you have any questions, I would love to answer you or talk to you about it. Or always just do your own research. If you don't want to trust me for it, look it up yourself. In today's day and age, we have so much information at our fingertips, and so many people are so against looking at the information when, really it's the most important information you can take. I've never had a doctor say, what food are you consuming? What kind of products are you using? Looking at, maybe what my stool actually looks like and saying, oh, this doesn't look good, you've been eating this way. There's very important information you can learn from yourself and from the food and the products that you use and your lifestyle in general. So if you are trying to make healthier decisions and you actually are struggling through that, it's very common to struggle through that information. And also, if you know about the subconscious mind, which is, I talk about the subconscious mind a lot, it's the most powerful part of our brain. It will actually hold you back from achieving some of those um, positive lifestyles because it's scared that you'll be leaving the tribe that you're in. There's safety and familiarity as well. So when toxic products and food and things like that are familiar in your life, and you try to leave that, you'll be more drawn back to them, and you'll have major cravings and things like that. So that's the main reason why I decided to look into this information in the first place, the subconscious information, and learn about the subconscious, is because I was struggling so much with my cravings and my urges to eat unhealthy. I would start eating healthy for like a week, or then I would just go and eat like Chick-fil-A, or garble down all this chocolate cake or something like that. And if it was pretty, I was kind of depressed because I didn't understand why I wasn't able to make these changes. I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought that I wasn't, I thought I was never going to be able to make these changes until I understood why I was drawn to that, staying the same, and how to actually overcome that, and how to reprogram my beliefs and my subconscious programs so that I was able to move towards my dreams and my goals that I wanted. Now that's the reason why I coach, because I want other people to feel that same ability to break free from the self-sabotage and the subconscious mind programs and limiting beliefs that I felt and that I was stuck in. And you don't have to eat unhealthy. You don't have to be stuck not exercising. You don't have to feel like you have no energy and that you have to have a coffee to wake up in the day. You don't have to feel like you're scared of these viruses or diseases. You don't have to do any of this, because let me tell you what, I care about you and you care about yourself. I know it. You just need to give your body the support that it needs to fight these things. If you do this, I promise things will change in your life and you'll be extremely happy you made those changes. If you want a way to overcome the subconscious programs and beliefs, you can always feel free to contact me. We can do a coaching session together. You can read more about my website, or you can just do your own research. It's extremely important, and I want you to take those leaps and strides and to learn this information so that you too can power up your life the way that I did. Anyways, I love you all. Thanks for listening to me, and have a great day. Thanks.